What an absolute beauty of a day today. So I thought I'd come over. It's the middle of October, but the sun have come out. It's fairly warm, so t-shirts are back on, and today I'm going to clear this plot all the way through, make sure that it's all ready, the bare minimum is left on the beds, and then I'll just literally like skim it all through, give it a good feed, and then we should be ready for spring. So the plans for the next couple of months are to clear all this plot off, put all the new beds down, mulch all the paths, and that reminds me I need to head down to my area down the plots, down the bottom of the allotment. We keep all our bark. There's been a massive delivery of new fresh bark, so I want to put nice new paths all through this as well, so lots to do. So I'm going to get my gloves on, and I'm going to have to just literally put everything in these compost bays, and hopefully I can cram it all down because there's a lot on this plot to get into those bins. So most of it's done now, so I'm going to carry on. But yesterday I came over as well, and I finished off the other side of the polytunnel, ripped out all the tomato plants, did the last bit of harvest, so it should be all done now. You know, I kept saying I'm going to leave the last couple of vines in, but they're all out now. I'm ready to prepare that soil. We're ready for the autumn planting, so that needs to be done as well. There's loads to do, so hopefully I can get it all done today. Good morning. So it's actually a new day. I got distracted yesterday. I carried on plodding on this plot, and I'll show you that in a minute now. But you know, it's like you get offered a coffee and you end up sitting down there and having coffee after coffee. The sun went down, but I did come back over to my plot because I was just chatting away, and you know what it's like. It's very sociable on my plot, on my site, and I actually fitted up the lights in here on the side because I was finding the lights up here were great, but when I wanted to work on this area here, I found it was a little bit darker, so I've actually fitted some lights on the sides. So that was done, and the plot actually looked really nice. You know, it's nice that I've got the spotlights outside, all solar powered, and I'm thinking about putting one at the front of the polytunnel as well. And I'll show you on a later video what I'm going to do there, because I'm actually going to have remote access. I know I'm probably going too far with this now, but there is method in my madness with that, because when I turn it all off, I walked on the plot and it is actually pitch black here, and I figured if I can just walk down the path, get to the gate, press the remote control, this is ridiculous, isn't it? Press the remote control and it'll turn off the power on the plot, all the lights, not all of it. I'm not gonna have it all, just the spotlights. I figured then at least I'm not walking in the dark, and you know, poor me, but it is so dark here, and I'm always clambering around with my phone and stuff. So there is a method in my madness, but I'll show you that in a future video. But let me show you what I've done so far. So let's discuss the elephant in the room, this bay tree. So my small bay tree that I planted in the herb garden, I've actually donated to another plot holder, Cheryl, and the reason was because Linda gave me her huge one, and I figured I'll plant that at the back of the plot where there's gaps in the fence in winter. And it's huge, it's absolutely huge. And I mean, I was always feeling guilty taking bay leaves for my casseroles and things off the small one, and I felt like it was weakening it, and it was just always knocking it back a little bit, because I was taking quite a lot through the winter. But I've donated that one now to Cheryl because she's actually got a new plot. She's given up her small plot. She's actually got herself a new allotment, which is absolutely amazing. She's already plodded all through. I'll actually, I'll have a word with her and see if we can go around and have a little nose around her plot, her new plot, and I'll show you all around, because, she's already blitzed that plot. But let me show you what I've done outside as well. So as you can see, I've already started clearing all this now, and it still looks a little bit messy. I've been digging out some stingy nettles which have been annoying. I've managed to salvage a few leeks. This bed over here is looking okay. I've had a good old weed through that as well. And the plan today is to bark all the paths. So we've had a massive delivery of bark at the top. I'm going to get all that done so at least it'll look nice and tidy over here because it's looking a bit rough. The grapevine garden's going to be barked as well. And I've come over and it's so early. It's so early. But it's the only time the plot shop is open. It's open quite early in the morning. So I've come over. Let's go get some compost because I need quite a bit. I want to store some over, you know, autumn because I don't want to run out because when my new beds come, I will want to top dress them and maybe plant into them. So I'm going to get quite a few compost bags. So let's get that done. So 10 bags later, it's all in. And this is my favourite compost. I've talked about it so many times. It's so fine, light, fluffy. It's perfect for sowing and growing into. So this is my favourite one we get from the plot shop. I've talked about it before. I swear by it. And as long as they supply it, then I'll use it. But, you know, compost is hit and miss, isn't it? But I'm not going down that today. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling smiley. And, yeah, I'm just so pleased. And I cannot believe it, but my 2-year anniversary for the channel is coming up and I can't believe how fast it's flown. It just dawned on me. I thought, hang on, I planted garlic around the 1-year anniversary last year and I can't believe this channel's been going for 2 years now and it's, you know, it's delving towards the 5k mark, you know, every day. So I'm hoping by the end of the year we'll be at 5k or maybe the start of next year, but we'll see. So if you haven't already subscribed, click that subscribe button. You know, I post every week and you won't regret it. So while I was outside and pulling out all the rest of the weeds and all the foliage and stuff from the old pumpkins, I found 2 butternut squashes. So they've been added now to the haul. So I've still got some spring cabbages left. Some more cabbages. These are my foxgloves that I mentioned that are overwintering, and look what's happened already. It doesn't take long. These don't take long in this compost either. I've got some pak choy here as well. I've also got the Shakespeare onions. They're coming up. The red ones, oh well, you know, so unreliable, red onions, but we ain't talking about that either. But look at them. They're already shooting up now, so I'm over the moon that they're showing a bit of life. And I also acquired a ladder. So I've been looking for a ladder for ages. And then while I was looking around Cheryl's new plot, there was one on there and I said, oh, you know, are you keeping that or are you thinking about selling it? And she absolutely, as always, she gave it me as a gift. I think I swapped it for the bay. Her way of thinking is I swapped it for the small bay tree, but I love that about the allotment. I had so many comments last week about how, you know, generous everyone are for their time and they all help each other out here, and I hope yours do that too. And if not, then maybe try and encourage that on your site. You know, like it can start only from one person and then it's, you know, it escalates, and that's what kind of happened here. You know, one good deed can turn into 100 good deeds. So if you think, oh, I wish ours was like that, you have got that power to do that as well. Just help someone out and it'll just snowball. So it's going to be a really sunny day today, and I brought all my camera batteries over and my drill batteries. I'm going to plug them up to the solar panel system, and I always get free energy, and my batteries generally, even on days like this in autumn, will charge those batteries slowly through the day, and then I get free power to charge this camera up, and yeah, it's free from the plot. So everything's a circle here. So I think I'm going to head home quickly as well. Maybe change out of shorts because I got a lot of barking to do today, and maybe change my shoes. But I'm hoping today this plot at least will be fully barked. It's quite muddy now. So the next time you see me, we should be barking the plot.
Sleeping in the back of a van, roaming in the wilderness. We never need a plan. We'll be alright, just you and I. Singing from the top of our lungs, dancing by the lakeside. Gonna do it while we're young. In a moment it will all be gone. You gotta understand that we get one chance, one chance. You will never regret the things that we'll do. 'Cause I wanna drive
And just like that, it is almost complete. Let me show you around. So I've managed to weed a bit and bark. I'm not doing all this, I'll tell you about that in a second. I've also barked most of the polytunnel. Compost is all in. Done all the paths. I've weeded a lot of this over here as well. And I've also barked all this area. I love the definition between bark and soil. And then we'll come around here. And I've also done all the way up to the shed. Now, the reason I haven't done this area is not that I'm avoiding it, because I've actually put a pile of bark in the polytunnel ready for that area. And the reason is because I'm going to put all the raised beds down here when they get delivered. It's no point me barking all the original paths because they're going to change, you know. So once I put all the beds down, I'll know all the gaps in between. Then I got bark already bagged up, the same colour to go in between. So I'm pleased with it. So the next planned attack is this flower bed here. It's not going to be a flower bed next year, but it needs a good weed and a good sort out, and then I'm good to go then. I'm not going to mess with this area as much, even though it's annoying me a little bit. It's a shame because that bed over there is really, really good soil in it, so I'm going to have to make sure that I use that on the top of the raised beds when I put them in. So I'm looking forward to them turning up. They're all similar to these sage green ones at the back here. And I've got 6 of them now, so there is some plans for this area. So stay tuned for that. So the compost I bought, I am going to mulch this bed in here, give it a good water because it's dried out a little bit because of all the heat. And then this will be good to go for planting. I actually am really excited for autumn now. The bark really does push you forward and it makes it look nice and bright. Not as dirty for those rainy days because I was getting a bit mucky, you know. So I've got extra bark in here, like I said, ready to finish off inside the polytunnel and outside, and I got quite a few more in my car that I need to get out the back as well. So it's all going on here, so plenty more to come. As you can see, the compost heaps are full to the brim. I'm hoping now it'll drop down in the next week or so, and then I'll put more on again and push it down. And a bit of rain then, give it a good moisture, and then I'll cover them over the top and hopefully they'll rot down over winter. This area, I've got the corns just pushed across the soil, and it's always been a dead space. I did use it for potato buckets this year, maybe not for next year, so I might turn this into a really long bed all the way up to the polytunnel, and then I might fill that full of tulips or cut flowers. So have you got any ideas for this area? It's about 3 foot by about 14-15 foot, so it's quite a nice growing area, but doesn't get as much sun as I hoped it would. But yeah, it's a lot of area. And I've also got this area here which I have got plans for. I'm thinking I might put extra asparagus or another compost base. So yeah, I want to really use this space a bit better next year. The asparagus bed, as you know, I stringed it all up and I had it all looking really straight and they were all protected from the wind, and then the pumpkins came and pushed them all down. So I've decided I'm not going to faff with it much now because there's no point. It's going to die down in the next couple of weeks. All these ferns will turn a golden colour, and then I'll chop them at the base and then drop them down as a mulch on top of the bed, and then this will be good then. It'll be good to go for spring. Asparagus should shoot up again, and then the following year I should have beautiful shoots of asparagus. I've still got some on the grapevine garden that I am actually cropping now, so it's perfect. So I'm still getting little crops, and then by next year or the year after, this should be good to go. I've already noticed the mountains now going from green to orange, and all the heather at the back as well is dying out now. So it won't be long before this whole mountainscape will be a golden fortress behind my plot. I must admit these beds have done really well this year. The lettuce are looking amazing. The other one's got some spring onions still in it, and it just overlooks the pond. But I'm thinking about moving these as well further into the centre of the plot, and then turning this area then into a nice seating area next to the pond, but we'll see. So I keep saying I'm going to do it, so I'm going to have to pop out and get some bird feed for the table. I've noticed the birds are swooping down, seeing it, and they're getting disappointed, and they're heading off back in the bushes. I'm not worried so much at the moment because there's loads of berries still on all the trees, especially the ivy behind here. They're foraging all the berries as they can at the moment. But before long, there will be limited amounts of food, and I do like to feed the birds on the plot, and it's something nice to see in autumn and winter. So in next week's video, I'm going to be planting out all my garlic. I'm really excited about that because I've got so many that I want to put in. I've dedicated 2 whole beds to garlic again this year, and I'm really excited about putting that in. I'm Danny, and this is the Grapevine Garden.